The film Bullet Quo, it's about the band, the rock band, the world famous Aikman, Status Quo, come to Fiji and play in the stadium there.
And I've always said the Status Quo gig is very much a physical gig. If you don't commit to doing that thing, which is kind of silly, you know, one shapes and stuff, if you don't commit to doing it physically, it's kind of boring. And I know people laugh at that, but it's boring for us to play, and it must be boring to listen to, unless there's a physical commitment, so the energy comes out. And I'm very much aware that him and I and the rest of the band perhaps won't be able to keep that going, and even if we do, it would be kind of a shadow of its former self. It must have that urgency, almost panic in it, and this would be a fabulous option. Very much aware that we aren't actors and won't become actors, but playing oneself should be okay.
I had a phone call from Francis about a week before we came out saying, I hope you're not going to make me learn any dialogue because you know I've not read the script.
He said, I'd like to make a movie with you guys. I thought, okay, that's stupid. And he came up with a script some little time later, which was a bit more serious than this one is now, a bit more violent and an older audience. And it was going to be called Care Factor Zero, which in other words means who gives us. And I actually showed the man behind the camera at the moment, on the Quid Pro Quo album, there's a song, Frozen Hero, which was going to be Care Factor Zero.
And I read the new script, which was far more amusing and far more entertaining, I thought, than the first one. Especially shooting it in Fiji made it a lot more appealing as well than the back streets of Thailand.
It's a family romp. It's a chase movie. It's a little bit of a bromance movie. It's quirky and funny, and all those things are true about it. We also wanted, though, to write a little love letter to Fiji and say what a fantastic place it is, and I mean, everywhere you look is another photograph. It's very, very photogenic, and all of a sudden the heavens opened and the rain came down.
With holidaymakers being airlifted to safety, the Quo office rang the producers in Fiji and asked if it was safe to travel. We could only give one answer. The money was spent. They had to travel. We had to find new locations. This family's house is completely destroyed.
Well, hope government might help us. We get ourselves to higher ground for us to build our houses.
Incredible to think we came here to make a film and there's a complete natural disaster happening. People losing their homes and roads being swept away. I've never seen anything like it. It really is just the most incredible sight.
At first we were trapped as destroyed roads were unpassable. Food stocks ran low. The script was changing each time we found somewhere we could film. But there was no electricity, no catering, no transport. Luckily, Francis and Rick did fly.
Well, we can't check our balance, but we can check the high water mark.
So we just finished day one, and we've done 11 slates, half a day, so it's like a slow day to get us all working together and everybody, you know, happy with what's going on. We got to move quicker, I know that, but it's been a great day.
Status Quo come to Fiji and play in the stadium there, and they witness a murder, and they try to report this murder, but they report it to the bad guy, and from then on they're chased all over Fiji.
Well, it came about really the idea of the film from Stuart St Paul, and originally we were going to shoot it in Thailand.
Well, initially it goes back to when we'd get photographs with Bruce, what was his, from East End, not from East End, from Coronation Street, I forget his name, whatever his character name, and he kept coming to see us at Manchester, and we jokingly said one day, why don't you get us a go in Coronation Street, we could sit in the back of the bar. And I was probably being Jack the Lad and mouthy because I really didn't fancy doing that. Our manager's a really big fan, and eventually a script came together which I thought was funny, so we did it as much as I was nervous. Really enjoyed doing it, both of us. And then Stuart at that point was the stunt coordinator. I think he taught us to fight on screen. And
but I think we've managed to make, the whole crew has managed to make them feel so secure and at ease that from
a phone call I had from, should I tell you this? I had a phone call from Francis about a week before we came out saying, I hope you're not going to make me learn any dialogue because you know I've not read the script.
If he guides you through, then I can possibly do it.
And they were actually scared of reading the scripts in case it frightened them and put them off coming here and filming.
And then it had gone away and I kind of relaxed, thought that's good, I'm going to do that, and I'm like that. I get really jumpy about things, that's the insecure show off, and then thinks, well, why aren't you looking at me, or why don't you want me? In our rest period this year, we usually break up late December and don't go back to work till March or something. And I was sat at home quite relaxed, and Simon Porter, our manager, came on and said that you'll never guess what, and of course I didn't. Hello. And he said the things come back to film, and I was kind of, this is the same thing with me each time. I was elated but cacking at the same time, and thought, no, well, I don't want to do that, and I put all sorts of things in the way why we couldn't do it. And like, we've got a show to go back to in St Petersburg in Russia, and I thought hopefully that'll overlap and that we wouldn't be able to do it. And lo and behold, we did do it, and I said, how long we got? He said, a month. And so from that point, although I'd read the script before, I asked him to tell Stuart I couldn't look at the script because I couldn't sleep at night thinking about what a dickhead one would be doing it.
So yeah, but that was before the cyclone hit, and once the flood started, you know, everything changed in production, and you know, locations fell over, and we had to sort of respond quickly, and we have had to continue to respond through the production period. Actually, it feels a bit disingenuous to complain about it because people lost their homes and businesses here, and we're only really making a film.
The film cannot be delayed. We have Status Quo for just 4 weeks, and then they go back on tour. What we need is a miracle.
I can talk myself out of things. It's like the easy option when I know that, and everybody said to me, even my wife at home, I just got to bit her head off a couple of times, and saying, she said, you'll be fine when you get there, you'll enjoy it, and I sort of said, I know. But I still don't want to go and do it. It's like, man, don't make me do it, man. And then, why didn't you make me do it? Anyway, we got here. I knew that in the back of my mind that working with Stuart would kind of be okay, and he knew that we were nervous, or I was nervous about, mainly about dialogue. I can't, and playing oneself, I suppose, is fairly easy. I mean, it fascinates me how people become a character and learn the character, or learn the entire script. You know,
Status Quo in a film is our trump card, really, and of course we had those fears of, you know, these guys are rock musicians. Of course they can do that because that's what they've been doing for years and years and years, but can they act? And so you always have a fear when you're using celebrities playing themselves, will they turn in a performance? And we've been absolutely blown away by the ability of the guys to do so. And
the biggest bonus, I think, for us is that we came here not really knowing what we'd get from Francis and Rick, and they've actually turned out, have I said this before? I may have done, because we're so amazed by it. They've actually turned out to be incredibly good at playing themselves, which is not easy. A lot of people try that, and it really is not easy.
There's talk about possibility of doing a sequel to this, or other things have come up. So I think possibly now I might be able to read a script and learn the entire story, as it were, and I think that way the conversational thing would be much easier.
I thought they did really well today. They had loads of dialogue. That was the first time they had a lot of dialogue, wasn't it?
Yeah, and they were on the ball with it.
Did it?
Which was really good. So, yeah.
We've got a day off tomorrow, so it's time for a drink and then bed.
Party time.
I play Caroline in the film. She's a very privileged young lady. She's been to university in England, and on completing her course she decided to go travelling, and she's basically been travelling ever since. So when we see her in the film, she's in Fiji. She just needs to get a job to kind of fund travelling for a bit longer, and stumbles along Status Quo.
And luckily with Laura and Craig and John Lovitz, the comedian, he kept making me corpse because he's so funny. He's one of those comedians who's got such a deadpan face.
Although it's got its heavy moments in it, I mean, the background and the settings and some of the locations we've been to are just absolutely wonderful.
Register with us here at Doris Visits and we will try to do our bit as travel video bloggers, where you can look before you book and see the cruise before you cruise the sea. Facebook, Twitter and online. Just search Doris Visits, then follow and share.